everyone, I'm David Parnes, and this is my other half.
Better half.
Sometimes better half. James Harris. Welcome to Rise Above the Ranks. This is a sister publication to readtheblueprint.com. Please subscribe. All you have to do is click. Each week, we're going to go over one topic on how to elevate your game as an agent. Today is Door Knocking 101.
Probably the most important subject we'll ever record here today.
I agree.
Because that's how we genuinely started our business. And now I look back at it, I cannot believe how many doors we knocked and the fun we had whilst we were knocking them. Right?
100%. Blue Jay Way, in the Bird Streets, every single house was listed down. And you can do it on your phone. All you have to do is pick up your phone and you put it on your notes section, right? And then you go, right, I'm going to attack. Because you have to be organized with it, right? That's the key. Be organized.
Yep.
Because otherwise you can't have follow-up notes. You've got to know exactly where you are. Who didn't answer the door? The people that said F off, definitely go back to them.
Yep.
And just know where you're at. That's important. Organization.
Absolutely. And I think, look, any new agent getting in the business, the one thing they're thinking about is, how do I generate business? Mm-hmm. And how do I do it without writing tens of thousands of dollars in checks that I just don't have? Mm-hmm. Door knocking is free. It takes your time. You have to be beyond willing and excited to do it. But if you do it consistently, and I'm not talking about once a week, I'm talking about 5 days a week, giving yourself 8 hours a day, committing to 100 doors a day, committing to not stopping for several months, you will be blown the f*** away by the results. We were, you will, but there has to be a strategy in mind when you're doing it. And I remember we had our title rep at Chicago, Michael McEwen. He would pull the lists for us. You remember? He would pull entire neighborhoods. We would have those neighborhoods printed out. We would always do it together, so it was fun. One of us would sit in the car, the other one would knock, and one of us would be in the car listening to great music and laughing at the other one, but we'd always have fun. We'd start at the top of the street, we'd work our way down, and we had fun, and we laughed, and we created memories. And I don't look back at any of it and think, I wish we'd done it differently. In fact, I almost wish we had more time so we could do it all over again, right?
It was so exciting because we had nothing to lose, and nothing, quite literally. It was kind of like freedom.
Yep.
Almost didn't feel like work, because when you go to work, you're like in an office. Like at the time, we were on the phones, like, you know, selling, right? But it was like, we're actually working.
Yep.
By being in the car, playing rock, scissors, paper, running up to a random house. Do you know what I mean? Knocking on it and just seeing if we get a response.
100%.
That whole adrenaline rush. And by the way, it was free.
Absolutely.
There's really no excuse not to get out there and do it.
None.
If you're new in this business, right, I would say pick your farm area, the neighborhood because you want to be the jack of all trades and the master of none, right?
Agreed.
So rule number 1, pick your area.
Rule number 2, go to your title rep, pull 500 homes in that area, be organized, have a strategy, and go.
Right. Pick your area, be organized. And I think probably one of the most important points is be consistent.
Amen.
Don't drop the ball.
Yep. Have the right energy, dress right, look good, feel good, and commit. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to go 110%. Do it 3 days a week. Do it 5 days a week. But commit to 100 doors a day. Yes, it's tiring. Yes, you're going to get a ton of rejection. But commit to 100 doors a day, 3 days a week, or 70 doors a day, 5 days a week. And do it for a month. And email us. We want to hear the results. Okay.
The nose.
The nose. We love the nose. The nose mean yes. Have that mentality. Yeah. So the nose.
The nose mean yes. I love that.
That's
James.
Basically my whole life. That's how I got married.
Yes.
I don't want to sell right now. What do you say?
I mean, look, okay, listen, the truth is the market is very, very hot right now. If you do have any interest in selling, it's probably now is the right time to do so. And by the way, you don't have to move out of your house. Our client will allow you to stay in your house for up to a year and a half while you assess where you want to go. I don't know if you've thought of that before, but our client is very, very accommodating. So there's not that much pressure.
Next objection. We've been working on this house for 3 years. We finally finished it. We're very happy.
Well, you obviously have a talent, and let me tell you something. If we can get you this number that I'm talking about, and you go and roll that into your next project, I'll probably be door knocking your $100 million house in 10 years' time.
Love that. My grandchildren are going to have this property when I die. I'm not interested.
I totally get that. Have you asked your grandchildren? Because the truth is, your house is beautiful, the location's incredible, but it's kind of old. And I don't know, unless you're going to tear it down yourself and rebuild, if it's really going to stand the test of time. What you could consider doing is perhaps selling for a great number and then buying something that's already done and give it to your grandparents.
Amen.
Give it to your grandchildren, rather.
Love that.
But it's also like, it's not just like, it's not like just, throwing things out for the sake of it. It actually makes sense. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes people don't realize what could be best for them because this is not what they do all day long. And all we're doing is we're kind of sharing our knowledge with them.
Amen. With excitement and passion.
Correct.
And for us, look, everybody's different. Every market's different. Every price point is different. But the principle remains the same. You're knocking on a door. I remember for Dave and I, we had a choice. We could either door knock $1 million house or we could door knock a $20 million house. Yeah. And the only thing, and I talk about this a lot, that changes is the commission. It becomes 20 times larger with a $20 million property. Many people then say to themselves, well, I can't get to the 20 million. No, you can. There is a doorbell. Even if there is a gate, there is a doorbell. Go for the bigger properties and don't let fear stand in your way of knocking on them or ringing the doorbell. But the most important thing is your energy, your excitement, the way you present yourself, your pitch. And we started in a niche. Right? We started door knocking development sites because
in the best locations.
In the best locations, what we realized, and this still goes on today, is that developers will buy off any agent, right? Mm-hmm. If you bring them the product, they'll buy from you. Mm-hmm. And this was at the time where development was coming up in Los Angeles. So all we had to find was small homes on large lots, get a seller interested, and then we knew we'd be able to find the developer to then take it to.
But that was the other thing that was so crazy. We're door knocking in LA, which was even more crazy. Because so where can you go up to? We don't want to encourage people, but when are you going to go up to Leonardo DiCaprio's house?
We did it.
Dr. Dre's house, yeah.
We did it.
We turned left onto the street, and you see the house, and it's like, okay, we're going to do it. Rock, scissors, paper, ready. And then the security guard walks right out to us. Wasn't going to happen.
Nope, not
Other
even
side,
get close.
Dr. Dre's house. At least we got to the doorbell on that one, right?
Remember.
I don't think he spent much time there.
Cookie either end of the cul-de-sac.
Yes.
DiCaprio, Dre.
Yes.
I remember.
Yes. And actually, Dre's house has still since been knocked down, right?
Yep.
So it was sold for development. Amazing views. Ring, ring. Hello. This is David Parnes and James Harris with the agency.
Fuck off.
Yeah. That was pretty much as far as that one got. And it wasn't Dr. Dre, it was his assistant.
But let's go over a proper role play, because I think we did. We had a really solid foundation and pitch for those development deals. Yeah. And we were always, we were not just excited to door knock, but we were grateful to door knock.
Yes.
And I think that came across with our energy. And I think energy is the key to success in door knocking, because in your mind, you have to think 5, 10 other people are going to do the same thing that week. So our energy was high. We were always dressed for success. We were always prepared. We were always grateful. And boom, we went out and did it. And I remember the doorbell would ring. What would we do?
Oh, are you going?
Sure.
Right,
Hello, this is David Parnes and James Harris. How are you? Who is it?
Yeah, but bear in mind, they just had a random stranger knock on their door. So that's a quiet mind. So I mean, how can I help you?
It's James and David again. We're real estate agents, and I know this is probably insane, but look, we're working with a buyer in the neighborhood. They're not bothered about the condition of the home, but they're extremely motivated by the location. Would you consider or think about selling the property? Why don't you come and I'll make you a cup of tea? Brilliant. I'll have 2 sugars. No, but it was always a no to start with.
Yeah, but the whole thing with the development deals were that you have these people that have been living in their houses for 60 years.
Correct.
60 years. They've used their house. Bear in mind, these people aren't in construction. They don't want contractors. They're not going to build their own house, right? So they've used that house. They've worn it out. And on top of that, you're telling them it's worth some number that they could never have imagined it was worth.
And I think that's the key. So they knock, they answer, they say no. you go back to them with, there has to be a number that makes sense. No. Okay, well, we already know before we've knocked, this is probably 5 million. So you're telling me if I offered you 20, you still wouldn't be interested? You get a giggle. But now you're engaging with that client. Now there's conversation back and forth. Okay, well, we both know it's probably not worth 20. Can we just have a 2-minute chat face to face? It's kind of bizarre talking to you through a buzzer. They come to the door. Now you've engaged, you've got them to the front door. The key here is asking them questions, engaging with them. Even if it's answers you don't want to hear, you're now engaging. The key is to find out what magic number would get them to go. Because I promise you, everybody has a number.
And
everybody.
100%. And the only thing I'll add to that is terms as well.
Yep.
You can accommodate. Listen, at the end of the day, a developer is not going to move into the house.
Yep.
A developer is going to go through the plans and permitting process. That will take probably a year,
yep, sometimes
longer. You can offer them a lease back. You don't have to leave your house. You can literally cash out. You can carry on living there for the next year or so. Our client will completely accommodate that. These are things that they don't expect to hear.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, wow. Now I can actually sell my house, get a load of money, and not move out straight away.
That sounds attractive to me.
Big
and
deal.
Again, if you put each of these sellers into a box where they have nowhere else to go but to engage with you and just give you some type of a response, you've walked away with a warm lead. Now, some people are going to tell you to fuck off, at which point you close it up, you move on. But there will be people that will engage, and those are the people you want to stay on top of. You'll also be surprised when you door knock how many people know of a neighbor that wants to sell or a friend that wants to sell that lives nearby. Again, door knocking is down to the numbers. You do the numbers, you'll get the results. It's the same with throwing mud at a wall. You throw enough mud, something's got to stick.
Totally.
You have to remain consistent. You have to have a good level of energy. You have to be excited when you're doing it. And you have to go in with the mentality that you're going to succeed if you're going to put in 5-10 hours a day in doing so. If you don't have that mentality or that mindset, you're going to have a shit miserable day and come back with nothing. If you wake up and you're in a bad mood or you have a bad energy, maybe don't do it that day. You have to be right in your mindset when you go out door knocking if you want to come back with results.
You're right. It is hugely a numbers game, but those numbers are a lot more attractive if you do it right.
Absolutely. So would you rather sit on a phone in a room cold calling, or would you rather get out, get dressed, look good, meet people, interact with people? And again, you'll be so surprised with the results if you do it and follow suit.
And it's amazing. It's amazing what you can learn as well, as far as not just, about the houses, but about the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
You will know this house is better than that house.
Amen.
Because it has a different view orientation. The topography is better. It's got more flat land. You know what I mean? The rotation of the property. So knowing that really gets you a lot of credibility with your developer clients.
Absolutely.
Because you really start to talk the talk.
And information is key. The more you do it, the more you learn, the more you understand. Understanding is key. And then just to wrap that up, and Dave and I talk about this a lot, our biggest door knock deal was from a door knock, $6.5 million. We sold a teardown. There was a single story, 2,700 square foot house there on a 30,000 square foot lot. Mm-hmm. We sold it from a door knock to a developer for $6.5 million. And you fast forward 8 years, Dave and I sold it for $37 million. Mm-hmm. That is proof this works if you continue to do it.
And that's not the only thing that comes from it. You get a double whammy.
Yep.
You get more listings as a result of that track record. You get phone calls from your marketing. We literally built our business from door knocking.
Amen.
And right now we have $1 billion of inventory.
Sky's the limit. Don't be f***ing lazy. Go out and door knock. All right, let's wrap it up.
Question time. Question time?
Amen.
We're over to questions. Okay. Question from Laura. I just moved to San Diego. I'm having a hard time breaking into the market. How many times have we heard that?
Oh, a lot.
Any go-to strategies that I should go for?
Yes, we just discussed it. Go door knocking, sit open houses.
Get to know your neighbors.
Get to know your neighbors. Get on social media. Be consistent with your marketing. Get in front of people that that know people that are either going to buy or sell, and change your mentality. If it's not working for you, your thinking isn't right. Get front and center. Be present. Get door knocking. Let's fucking go.
No excuses.
Exactly.
Okay, on to the next one from Mike. I've never been, this is a good one. I've never been to London before. If I had 24 hours, what would you do?
So if it were me, I was in London, I would definitely go to Hyde Park and enjoy that.
Got to see Buckingham Palace as well.
If you don't go and see the Queen, that's just messed up. And Big Ben, Houses of Parliament, really 3 great landmark sites to see in London that you're never going to see any in America.
And go to Royal China, best Chinese. And very reasonable.
Indeed.
So that wraps up our Rise Above the Ranks podcast, sister publication to readtheblueprint.com. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you very soon.
Indeed.